Well, I'm Sally Fox, and my business is called Engaging Presence. It's a small consultancy practice focused on leadership development, facilitation, and helping leaders and organizations tell their best story. Well, I wanted to take the program because I've been passionate about leadership storytelling for about a year. And I've been reading everything I could, reading the books, and also following Michael a little online. So I started hearing about it, I think, early in the summer, and I read the manifesto, and then I listened to the 1 hour preview he did. And I thought, there's something here. I've read a lot, I know some things, but there's really something here. And so I decided, what the heck, I would do the course. So I signed up doing that because I thought, one, it could help me with clients, and I didn't know how much it would help me with myself, which has been the big discovery of the class. There is this great way that Michael has, how do I say it? It's like he links story to the organizational world, to an audience, how I say it, to the language of people who are actually out there. It's not just like storytelling out here in and of itself. It's storytelling that's really connected to the language of business and organizations. And he translates it really well. He just makes that link seem natural. So one of the things that I've been thinking a lot is, okay, how do I put what I'm trying to create into the language of the audience that I want to serve? And how do I create a possibility that is really something they can hook onto and engage with? Not just because it's my possibility, but because it's something that really lives in their hearts and they want it too. So I think he's done a great job of helping us hook, like our story and what we want to do, what we're creating, with a larger story that hooks us to the marketplace. And that's cool. There was something that he said, and I don't have his exact words, but it's sort of like giving people a happy sandwich, giving them a way to embrace possibility that's already within their field of knowing, but maybe a little bit of a stretch, but still something that they can embrace and feel happy about, as opposed to something that you're trying to hammer them with. And I started to pay attention to the extent to which good meaning organizations do a lot of hammering. If this is an important issue, we should do something. And he pointed out, and I think he's right, that hammering doesn't feel very good. But when you can reach into something that people already know and they already care about, and show them how they can get more of that, and that you're really on the same side as they are, and that this is a great opportunity, something they can be happy about, as opposed to something you have to fix, it feels like it feels like you have a lot more leverage, because you're with them from the start. You're not trying to get them to do something. So in my own experience, and I'm still working this through, like, I love the whole idea of storytelling. I love organizational storytelling, and I also love helping people bring their regular stories out. But I can be like a little guy with a hammer, wanting to see all the opportunities to use the hammer. It's great. However, working with Michael, I'm seeing that it's less important to convince them about your hammer, and more important to go over to where they are already and tune in to what they're concerned about and they want. And then you can just show how useful your hammer is going to be. So that's been really good to think about. Make them happy. I have probably rewritten my great website, Engaging Presence, at least a couple of times. Not fully rewriting it, but going back and just saying, okay, this language, what do I want to change? Am I over there with them? What's my offer, and how am I doing this? And so I've already started adjusting my language, and it's getting more real and more natural, which is a really good evolution. And I think it's partly where I'm going, but it's also heavily influenced by Michael. I think it gives me a way to speak about storytelling that is very specific and concrete. Because there's so many cuts into storytelling. And he is offering one that is pretty easy to get. I mean, not necessarily easy to implement, but the structure of it makes a lot of sense. I've actually worked with a couple of clients, helping them think in terms of possibility, obstacle, and get over there further into their client's shoes. Does that make sense? Yeah. In the organizational work, because I've been an organizational consultant, it's so easy to get wrapped up in all of the things that I want to do and all the things that I can create for you and all the magic that could happen. But now when I'm coaching a client who talks like that, I'm like, okay, this is great, but what's the possibility for your client? What's over there for your client? What are you speaking into for your client? And that shift has been very transformational for the couple of people that I've coached. So I think that's a result. Excellent. In the new year, I'd like to credit it with a great expansion of my business, but you'll have to stay tuned. I'm really interested in how this whole field of leadership storytelling, organizational storytelling, is expanding, and how to really put a professional stake in the ground, just the way people did with coaching so many years ago. You know, nobody heard about coaching then. Everywhere there was a coach, and now, boy, they're coaching schools are just coming in from every place, and there's coaching certification. Organizational storytelling, I think, is at that early stage where we're really excited about it, and I'm interested in how some of us who are really committed are going to distinguish ourselves and say, but we're really putting a stake in the ground. We really care about this area. We want to help develop this area. We want to make it a real professional competency for ourselves. And I have a sense, if I'm right, that the community that Michael is developing could be really instrumental to that. So my suspicion is that by hanging out in that community, I will be able to establish myself as a professional leadership or organizational storytelling guide.